Ellie's question was a puppy related question on how best to get the puppy acclimatised to going in the car. Obviously once we actually have the reward of a nice outdoor walk it might be easier, but until then any suggestions to help the dogs make good travelling buddies? Yeah, sure. So I would always recommend that your dog, definitely a puppy, that you put these in a crate in the car, and there's a couple of reasons for that. You want to make sure that your puppy's secure, so it's not chewing your car up, which is really important. You don't want to open the boot and find everything's all chewy bits. It'll also stop your puppy from bouncing around the back of the car when you're going around corners, which is never a good thing because it'll make them sick and it'll make them not want to get into the car. So sorry, an appropriate size for your puppy, not a huge crate so that they're moving around a lot, and also so it's nice and secure for them. And the other reason, hello Dante, the other reason is that if you've got a dog loose in the car and you crash or you have to brake hard, then your puppy or your dog will turn into a little loose cannon, little cannonball, and every potential of doing some serious damage to you as well as to itself. So first things first, make sure your dog or your puppy is secured in the car. In relation to acclimatising them to the car, I would feed them in it. So even a little puppy, you know, make a lovely fuss of taking your puppy to the car and then popping them in the car and giving them a little biscuit or something, and then go for a drive so you don't have to get your puppy out. When my dogs are pups, when they're very young, I'll pop them in the back of the car, go for a little drive with them, and then pop the boot while they're in the crate, and I'll just perch my bum on the back of the car and just sit and stroke them or talk to them while they're secure in the crate, and then I'll give them a little biscuit and then I'll drive home. And so they learn that really good things happen in the back of cars, and it gets them used to the sound and the smell. And the other good thing is if you pull over in a lay-by, or if you go to like a shopping centres are fantastic. When I lived in Marlborough, my haunt used to be the Waitrose car park because it was always busy, and so I'd go down with the dogs in the back of the car, the puppies in the back of the car. I don't know if you can hear Spud chewing on a toy, it's really irritating. Let me get that off him. Spud, good lad. It's squeaking away like mad and it's really irritating. So I would go down to Waitrose with the dog or the puppy in its crate, and I would just sit in the Waitrose car park for a few minutes with the boot open and let the puppy get used to the sound of the shopping trolleys and people moving around, and the smells and everything that comes with being in a city centre car park or a town centre car park. And then I'd go and do my shop and come back and then sit with the dog again, and then when the puppies were old enough I would get them out and just lean against the car and let the puppy listen to everything going on and let it acclimatise to the smell, just let it calibrate its nose, if you like, so that it got used to all the smells and everything that was going on. So that's what I would do with puppies when they're very young and you can't take them necessarily for a walk. That's how I would acclimatise them to the car. Now with puppies you shouldn't be letting them jump in and out of the car, so you have to lift them up and pop them in. Really up until a dog's a year old, especially the bigger breeds, you shouldn't be letting them jump in and out of the car on their own. So either a crate or either a ramp, or I've just come across collapsible steps which the concertina are up and open and close like this. So I'm going to be doing a video of them. They only arrived yesterday so I haven't unpacked them, so that would be an option. I'm getting prepared for my puppy coming at the end of the year, so little steps going in and out the back of the car for training. So that would really help as well, get the young dogs used to getting in and out of the car. For an older dog, when you start getting them to jump in and out of the car, I would have a contrasting colour so that they can see where they're going. some dogs find it quite stressful jumping into the back of the car because they can't see where they're supposed to be jumping, especially the newer cars, the 4x4s, the Volvos, and I think it's the Discoveries as well, where they have this lip coming down like that, so the boot opens that way and you've got a lip coming down, and it's just a really thin shelf, and the dogs have got to try and figure out where to jump. And so it's nice just to have a towel or something hanging off that to give the dogs a bit of a hint of getting into the back of the car. If you've got a dog that's a bad traveller, again, lots of feeding their meals in the back of the car, just moving the car forward and back and then getting the dog out. If you are into homeopathic remedies, which I am, what I have done with my dogs in the past, I can't recommend them because I'm not a vet or homeopathic vet, but what I've done with my dogs in the past is used a homeopathic remedy called cockless, and that is really good for sickliness in the car. It's a travel sickness remedy, and I've used that in the past for my dogs. And also, good boy. And also I've used rescue remedy in the past as well, which will sometimes help if the dogs get really frightened of going in the car. But again, that's not me telling you to use it, that's just saying what I have done with my dogs in the past. I'm trying to think with the general car issues. Angus, my golden retriever, got really scared of travelling. When we come back from New Zealand, I didn't realise how much the flight had affected him until I went to get him in the car and bring him home from my friends where he was staying, and he wouldn't get in, and then he would get so nervous in the car. No, that's not for you. He would get so nervous in the car that he would express his scent glands, and so I didn't talk to him. What I did instead was sing. So I would play music and I would sing, and that really settled him down in the car. So depending on what it is, hopefully there's lots of different solutions out to help you with your dog in the car. So let me know how you get on with them, and let me know if that helped. That one was really for you in relation to acclimatising your dog in the car. But you know, being in cars is part of our life, so they just have to really get used to it and settle down. But Kongs are great, you know. I mean, I think this is an A Kong, or it might be a Wubba Kong, but you can get them by that shape where they're hollow at the end, and you can put one of those in with a bit of food in, just to help the dog settle. I've got both my dogs sitting here looking for that toy. You can put stuff like that in, or you can put like a little smear of like a really thin smear of Marmite, because dogs love it, but not too much because it can be quite salty and it can be a bit stingy on the mouth, but just like a tiny smear just to get them interested in it. You could smear a little bit of cream cheese, bit of filly in there, or if you've got a peanut butter which hasn't got any sweeteners in it, then you could put a little bit of peanut butter in there, or a little bit of like pate, you know, chicken, you know, the Madison's, you know, the little Madison's paste, a little smear of that in as well would get them interested, but not too much because again it's got salt, it's got quite a bit of salt in it. But it's just enough to get them interested and settled in the car. I hope that helps.